Hello one and all, this is Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. This time around, Cobra Kai, the Karate Kid Saga Continues, for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Cobra Kai, of course, is the spin-off of the trilogy of Karate Kid movies that appeared first on YouTube and now for Season 3 is coming to Netflix. But before there is a Cobra Kai Season 3, there is Cobra Kai the video game, a side-scrolling 2.5D beat-em-up that is very reminiscent to the old school Streets of Rage games. I'm not even saying like Streets of Rage 4, the recent release. I'm talking about like Streets of Rage 1 and Streets of Rage 2 with some of the implementations that you would see in a Streets of Rage game not really being here, including a lot of interactable objects. Instead, Cobra Kai focuses on just punching, kicking. You can grab your opponent, and more importantly, you can unleash some special attacks. Now, Cobra Kai doesn't focus on some random character, but actually focuses on the characters that have been involved in the show. Depending on what side of the fence you choose, be it the Cobra Kai side or the Miyagi Dojo side, you will be able to play with not only Miguel and Sam, who are synonymous with both of those dojos in regards to the television show, but also, of course, Cobra Kai head himself, Johnny Lawrence. You are given the opportunity, both offline and online, with a partner or without, to switch between characters, to enjoy playing not only with the characters of the television show, not only the characters that you're first given, but also characters maybe you wouldn't even expect. It's actually quite fun being able to switch these characters in mid-battle. Depending on what their health scenario is, it may be wise to switch a character in mid-battle. There are power-ups that show up during the course of a stage that will boost, of course, attack power, defense power, and the majority of the characters that I've fought thus far are pretty paint by the numbers. Nothing really outstanding or that challenging. I think one of the biggest things when it comes to this game is the fact that it hasn't, thus far, for me, been that challenging. It's been kind of long-winded when it comes to the stages, but when it comes to a difficulty, I haven't had that much of a challenge thus far. That could definitely change later on in the game, but right now it's a pretty easy game. Also, some of the big things when it comes to the gameplay, of course, is the dojo itself. There are challenges, hundreds it seems, challenges that you can complete. There's also the ability to upgrade both your character and the dojo itself. When it comes to upgrading the dojo, it ties into all of the characters that are playable in that dojo. Whatever upgrades you give them in that menu, it goes across the board. So every person has these special attacks, every person has these special maneuvers across the board in that dojo, be it Miyagi or Cobra Kai. Thanks to the coins that are attained by fallen enemies, you are able to utilize these upgrades. And when it comes to personal upgrades, when it comes to character upgrades, of course, the special attacks that each character can have is synonymous with that character and can be upgraded as such. It's a nice little implementation and something to really add some replay value and some extensive playtime to the overall game. From a narrative perspective, this seems like something that's happened between Cobra Kai Season 1 and Cobra Kai Season 2, with some familiar faces that showed up more prominently in Season 2, also showing up here. It's pretty much this non-canonical attachment to the Cobra Kai lore that we've gotten used to watching on YouTube and now upcoming this January on Netflix. It's solid. The gameplay and the story itself thus far are solid presentations, but nothing outstanding. If you compare it to Streets of Rage 4, the most recent Streets of Rage game, you see a game that embraced nostalgia while trying to be innovative, while actually giving some difficult moments for the player. Whereas this is pretty much paint by the numbers, beat 'em up without trying to go out of its way to really be something that would really stand the test of time. With that being stated though, from a presentation standpoint, this is actually a lot better than I expected it to be. Overall, this is obviously a budget title, it's a licensed title, it's not something that's going to set the world on fire. But really, it's still a lot better than I expected, especially from a presentation standpoint. They've done a great job taking in the essence of the recent Cobra Kai show, while having a more cartoony atmosphere, more animated atmosphere that avoids the hyperrealism and sometimes the ultra-violence of Cobra Kai, the show itself. it is a game that is a budget title. It's a game that you won't be saying it's going to be a game of the year or anything like that. But if you just want an old school beat 'em up that isn't too stressful and you like the Cobra Kai series, it's very hard to say that you could go wrong with this. But if you're looking for something as fun and as monumental as, say, Streets of Rage 4 when it comes to beat 'em ups, I think you can do just as well with Streets of Rage 4. So there you have it. This has been Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. Cobra Kai the Karate Kid Saga Continues for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch. Now if you don't mind, I have some punk kids trying to test their might against truly the baddest of the baddest. And if they aren't careful, I will have no choice but to show them no mercy, and they will have no choice but to say, "Oh Lordy."